If you're like most people, you've probably felt the weight of debt on your shoulders at some point in your life. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan of action to get out of debt and take control of your finances. Let's get started assessing your debt situation. The first step in getting out of debt is to assess your current debt situation. This means understanding exactly how much debt you have, where it's coming from, and what the interest rates are. But don't worry, this doesn't have to be a daunting task. In fact, it can be quite empowering to see all of your debt laid out in front of you. One easy way to do this is to create a budget. This will give you a clear picture of how much money you're bringing in each month and where it's going. Once you have a budget, you can start to see where you can make changes and cut expenses. Now, you might be thinking, but I already know how much debt I have. Why do I need to create a budget? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes we have hidden sources of debt that we don't even realize. For example, those subscription services that automatically renew each month, or those small recurring charges that add up over time. By creating a budget, you'll be able to identify these hidden sources of debt and take control of them. Another tip for assessing your debt situation is to call your creditors and ask for the current interest rates. Sometimes you can negotiate lower interest rates, which can save you a lot of money in the long run. So take the time to assess your debt situation, create a budget, and look for hidden sources of debt and negotiate lower interest rates. Trust us, it's worth the effort. It will give you a clear and accurate picture of where you stand financially and set you on the path to becoming debt-free. Creating a debt repayment plan. Now that you have a clear understanding of your debt situation, it's time to create a debt repayment plan. This is the blueprint that will guide you towards becoming debt-free. There are a few different methods you can use to pay off your debt, such as the snowball method and the avalanche method. But before we dive into those, let's talk about prioritizing which debts to pay off first. One strategy is to tackle the debt with the highest interest rate first. This will save you the most money in the long run. However, if you're someone who needs a quick win to stay motivated, you might want to consider the snowball method. This method involves paying off your smallest debt first and then moving on to the next one. This way, you'll be able to cross debts off your list quickly and feel a sense of accomplishment. Now, let's talk about negotiating lower interest rates. This can be a game changer when it comes to paying off your debt. Interest rates can make a huge difference in how quickly you'll be able to pay off your debt, so it's worth taking the time to call your creditors and ask if they can lower your interest rate. Another tip when creating a debt repayment plan is to avoid lifestyle inflation, which is when you spend more as you earn more. Instead, try to keep your expenses at the same level and use the extra money to pay off your debt. Creating a debt repayment plan can seem like a daunting task, but remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Every little bit of extra money you can put towards your debt will bring you one step closer to becoming debt-free. Staying debt-free. Congratulations, you've created a debt repayment plan and have started paying off your debt. But the work doesn't stop there. The key to staying debt-free is to maintain a budget and stick to it. This means being mindful of your spending and avoiding the trap of lifestyle inflation. One tip for staying debt-free is to use a cash-only budget. This means only spending the cash you have on hand and avoiding the temptation to use credit cards. It's a simple but effective way to stay on top of your spending. Another strategy is to reduce unnecessary expenses. Take a look at your budget and see where you can cut back. Maybe you can cancel a subscription service or find a cheaper alternative to something you're currently paying for. Lastly, consider earning more money. This can be done by taking on a side hustle or negotiating a raise at your current job. The extra income can be used to build an emergency fund and invest in assets that will generate wealth. Staying debt-free is a lifelong journey that requires discipline and perseverance. But with a plan and effort, it's possible to achieve financial freedom. Remember to keep your eye on the prize and don't let setbacks discourage you. Every small step you take towards becoming debt-free is one step closer to financial freedom. Eliminating expenses. One of the easiest ways to eliminate expenses is to cancel subscriptions you no longer use or need. Whether it's a streaming service, a gym membership, or a magazine subscription, these small recurring charges can add up over time. So take a look at your bank statement and see where you can cut back. Another tip is to cut back on dining out. Preparing meals at home can save a significant amount of money, and it's also a great opportunity to bond with your family and friends. Another way to eliminate expenses is to look for free alternatives to expensive activities. For example, instead of going to the movies, you can rent a movie from the library or stream it online. Instead of going to a theme park, you can visit a nearby park or beach. Lastly, try negotiating your bills. You'll be surprised by how much money you can save just by calling up your cable or internet provider and asking for a better rate. Eliminating expenses doesn't have to be painful. By making small changes to your spending habits, you can free up a significant amount of money to pay off debt and save for the future. Increasing income. We'll get to that in a second. I have a favor to ask of you. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel. Eliminating expenses is a great way to free up money, but sometimes it's not enough. That's why increasing your income is also an important part of the equation. The more money you bring in, the more you'll have to put towards paying off debt and saving for the future. One way to increase your income is to take on a side hustle. This can be anything from freelancing to starting your own business. The internet has made it easier than ever to find ways to earn extra money. You can offer your services on platforms such as Upwork, Fiverr, or Etsy. Another way to increase your income is to negotiate a raise or ask for a higher salary. If you feel like you're underpaid for the work you're doing, don't be afraid to have a conversation with your boss. Remember to come prepared with examples of your contributions to the company and a clear idea of what you're looking for. Lastly, consider investing in assets that will generate wealth. This can be anything from stocks and bonds to real estate. By investing your money, you're putting it to work for you and increasing your income over time. Increasing your income is not only about making more money, it's also about making your money work harder for you. With a little bit of creativity and effort, you can find ways to earn more money and get one step closer to becoming debt-free. Handling credit card debt. Credit card debt can be a tricky beast to tame. The high interest rates and the ease of swiping a card can make it easy to rack up a large amount of debt in a short period of time. But don't worry, with the right strategies, you can pay off your credit card debt and take control of your finances. One strategy is to transfer your balances to a lower interest credit card. Many credit card companies offer balance transfer promotions that can significantly lower your interest rate. This can save you a lot of money in the long run. Another strategy is to consolidate your credit card debt. This can be done by taking out a personal loan or a home equity loan and using the money to pay off your credit card debt. This can simplify your payments and help you to keep track of your debt. It's also important to avoid falling back into credit card debt. One way to do this is to create an emergency fund. This way, when unexpected expenses arise, you won't have to rely on credit cards to cover them. Lastly, try to change your relationship with credit cards. Instead of using them as a way to buy things you can't afford, use them as a tool to build credit and make purchases you can pay off in full each month. Handling credit card debt can be challenging, but with the right strategies and a bit of effort, you can pay it off and take control of your finances. Remember to stay focused and stay motivated, and you'll be on your way to a debt-free future. Dealing with student loans. These loans usually have a longer repayment period, and the amount of debt can be substantial. But don't worry, there are ways to manage your student loan debt and make it more manageable. One strategy is to apply for income-driven repayment plans. These plans base your monthly payment on your income and can significantly lower your payments. They also offer loan forgiveness after a certain number of years. Another strategy is to refinance your student loans. This means taking out a new loan with a lower interest rate and using the money to pay off your existing student loans. This can save you a significant amount of money in the long run. It's also important to remember that student loan forgiveness programs exist. These programs forgive a certain percentage of your student loan debt if you meet certain qualifications, such as working in a specific field or for a certain number of years in a certain area. Lastly, try to pay more than the minimum payments. It will help you to pay off the loan faster and save you money on interest. Dealing with student loans can be overwhelming, but with the right strategies and a bit of effort, you can make them more manageable. Remember to stay informed and take advantage of the options available to you, and you'll be on your way to a debt-free future. By now, you should have a clear plan of action to tackle your debt and take control of your finances. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, from assessing your debt situation and creating a debt repayment plan, to eliminating expenses, increasing income, handling credit card debt, and dealing with student loans. We also shared some uncommon tips that most people don't know. Remember, getting out of debt and staying debt-free is a lifelong journey that requires discipline and perseverance. It's not going to happen overnight, but with a plan and effort, it's possible to achieve financial freedom. So keep your eye on the prize and don't let setbacks discourage you. Every small step you take towards becoming debt-free is one step closer to financial freedom. We hope this video has been helpful to you, and we would love to hear your own tips and experiences with getting out of debt in the comments section. But the journey doesn't end here. If you're ready to start improving your financial well-being, take action now. Check the first link in the description for our Frugal Living iBook. Our comprehensive guide covers everything you need to know about living a frugal and rewarding life, including creating a budget, identifying areas for cost cutting, and finding affordable alternatives to everyday expenses. It's never too late to start making smart financial decisions.